Hey guys, what's going on? What we're going to do in this tutorial is we are going to use Clara to make this robot and use some extrude tools and things like that. So let's go ahead and get started. To start off with, let's go ahead and start out with a cube. We can do a cube or a cylinder. Actually, either one would do. We'll do a cylinder. And let's shrink it down. And what we want to do is we're going to decrease the amount of edges on this. So we're going to go to Properties. Actually, we're going to go to Polymesh. And where it says 24, we're going to put 8, okay? So this gives me a kind of a blockier polygon, which is good. Now I'm going to go to my Tools menu. I'm going to go to Edge. I'm going to take these 3 edges. I'm going to hold Control as I select them. And I'm going to take this red handle and scale it flat, okay? And what that does, I'll do that again. I hit Control, right? And then I take this and I just scale it flat. And what that does is that makes a nice sort of straight thing with a rounded back, okay? So it looks pretty good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Face Mode. I'm going to hold Control. And now I'm going to go to my Extrude tool. Now, it will give you, if you go to Extrude right here, right, the Polymesh, it's going to give you this, right? I don't want to do this. Actually, I want to go in. Okay, and I'm going to go to the middle, and I'm going to drag it left and right, so it's in a little bit, and bring it down, okay? Let's bring it up a little, like this. Let's actually bring it right here. And now I'm going to extrude it again, okay? So I'm just going to click Extrude. And again, what I have to do here is I have to do this and bring it in. Okay, this is good. This is exactly what I want. This is perfect, okay? Really good. Awesome. Okay, we could bring it back a little bit more if we want. Okay, this looks really cool. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the eye part. There's a couple different ways to do this. So I'm going to create a different cube. And what I'm going to do with this box is I'm going to scale it flatter. Okay. We can do this. And I'm going to put it right inside here. All right. Now the reason why I want to do this is I'm going to use this tool called Boolean to cut a hole. But I don't want to cut a hole in my main object because that's going to mess up the geometry. I don't mind messing up the geometry on a small part, but I don't want to do it on the whole thing. Okay. So let's just keep this out here for now. This is perfect. Now what I'll do is I'll create a sphere, okay? Now obviously this is huge, right? We got to scale it down. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'll put one like over here. And I'm going to right click on it and go to clone. Click OK. I'm not going to explain the difference between copy and reference right now. You really don't need it for this tutorial. All right, now let's look at the tools. Let's see here. Is there a Boolean? Let's see. Let's go to Model, Mesh. I don't see a Boolean. Let's see here. Faces. Unfortunately, I don't see a Boolean here. Nope. I thought this had a Boolean in it. I guess it doesn't. Well, that's okay. So in this case, we'll just sort of do this. And we'll just put the eyeballs in like that. That's fine. Okay. That'll still work. That looks cool. All right. So that's that. Let's go ahead and get the neck done. So we're going to go to Create, Polymesh, and we're going to go to Torus. Now there's a couple things I want to do with this torus. I want to decrease its fatness. So what you're going to do here is you can go to radius. Whoops. Actually decrease the whole, there we go. Whoops. That's pretty good. Might do something like 0.01. All right, that's too much. 0.05. All right, cool. That looks good. And I want it blockier, so I'm going to go here and I'm going to put 8 by 8. All right, I want to keep this thing kind of blocky. All right, cool. Let's just do 2 of these. So I'm going to right click and go to clone. And this looks pretty good. I'm just going to clip it. All right, I'm just going to actually make this, let's delete this. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. It's kind of big. That's good. Okay. Now let's go ahead and clone that. There's probably a way to do the Boolean tool. I'm just not sure how right now. I'll look into it later. Okay, so that's fine. All right, cool. And let's do a I don't know. I guess we could do a cylinder here. And what we're going to do is the following. We're going to scale it down a bunch. Oops. Make sure you scale it in the middle. And we want to make the top narrower, right? It's kind of too big. So the way we're going to do this, we're actually going to keep the bottom fat at a certain point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to here, select the edges, and I'm going to go to connect. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to vertex. I'm going to highlight the verts, and I'm going to scale the verts in like this. So what this edge does is the placeholder. This placeholder will ensure that will ensure that the bottom stays kind of the way it is, right? The bottom, like this edge, it holds that edge. It holds that area. So that's good. Now we're just going to go back to the object mode. This is object mode. And we're going to bring it up like this. All right, looks kind of cool. All right, looks good. Now we're going to go ahead and build the body. Just cube. Let's bring it down. And again, this isn't for I'm not doing a hard surface modeling tutorial right now. Actually, let's do something different. Let's do a cylinder. And what we're going to do is we want to make this thing look blockier, okay? So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to this and we're going to put in 8. This is good. And we're going to scale it out like this. All right, neat. This looks good. And now let's flatten out these edges. So we're going to go to edge here. Okay, and I'm going to hold Control and select this edge. And I'm going to grab the scale tool and scale it in. That way it's symmetrical. If it's not symmetrical, it's really not a huge deal. You know, it's a simple project. It doesn't matter. All right, cool. Now let's continue. Let's do a cylinder. We're actually going to make one arm. And then we're going to duplicate it over to the other side, all right? So let's go ahead and shrink this thing down. That's good. That's going to be like the shoulder joint. Why isn't my tool working? Okay. Now to get it exactly 90, just make sure you select your object like I just did. Go to transform and just put a -90 here. All right. And we're just going to go ahead and put the arm, you know, right there where the shoulder would go. All right. And the other thing is just, it's another cylinder. So I'm just going to create another cylinder. I'm just going to clone this actually. Just make my life easy. All right. Got to bring it out. Now you'll notice that this tool acts weird now. Let's see. Oh, okay, so you have to select it. Just go to pivot and go to center pivots. There we go. Okay. So now what that does is when we bake the transformation, that'll actually fix the rotate tool. Let me do that again, just so you see what I did. I went to edit, clone, okay. So then, you know, normally when I do this, right, this tool isn't working anymore properly. So I have to go to model. Oh, there's the booleans. I didn't even see it. Okay. Object, bake transformation. Click the center pivots actually. So now this will work correctly. That resets the object. That's what we want, okay? This is good. Let's just make it bigger. There we go. Make it thinner. I'm kind of learning this as I go. I'm normally a Maya user, so this is definitely new for me. It's very, very similar to Maya, though. Well, now we're at it. Let's see how the Boolean tool works. Let's select this, and then model Boolean. This would be a subtract. It says select one, then select the second. Select one, hold control, select the second, model Booleans, subtract. Wow. Okay. That's not good. Model Booleans, subtract. Okay, it makes an absolute, just a complete and utter mess of the geometry. Don't use that tool. Wow, that's terrible. Whew, that was really bad. Don't use that tool. It's horrible. Sorry, guys at Clara. That tool stinks. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a cube. So I'm just making the arm section. Yeah, obviously you don't have to follow me exactly if you're learning Clara. You could sort of, I would actually highly encourage you to just stop watching the video now. Go to the end, see what I made, see if you can make it yourself. Don't watch me step by step. Okay, again, we're not doing hard surface modeling techniques in this video. Normally I would, but I'm not. That's not the purpose of this video. So I don't want to throw in too many techniques in one video, all right? Otherwise, I will confuse the bajankins out of you. And I don't want to do that. I want to teach you. All right, cool. That's that. All right. Let's make this a little shorter. Let's take this and duplicate it. Let's clone it. Scale it down. Okay. All right, neat. I'm going to clone it again. Actually, what I'll do is this. I'm going to do something kind of clever here. I'm going to take a sphere. And I'm just going to scale it down like this. Whoops. I don't know why that's happening. There we go. Okay. All right. And I'm going to flatten it. And I'm going to put it, by the way, you could do this and use your 2D views to help you place stuff. Okay. This will just speed up your modeling a little bit. Oops, I just hit spacebar because in Maya, when you hit spacebar, as you Maya users know, that will change the view for you. But Clara doesn't work that way. All right, cool. It just adds a little bit of detail. I don't really care if it's centered. It's fine. All right, very cool. All right, that's that. Let's do the pinchers. That looks like a cylinder. That looks like a cylinder, actually a pipe that I just delete some of it. So we're just take a, do they have pipes in this? No. Nope. Oh, they have segment revolve. I don't know how to use this yet. Let's do, I don't know, torus, I guess. Put negative 90 here. Let's go to the actual poly mesh. The radius, put 0.05. And scale it down. All right, now we're just going to delete some of this. So we're going to go to our faces. And I'm just going to highlight some of this and hit delete. That's good. Cool. That's good. Might be open a little too much, but that'll work. Okay. Let's go to object mode. And all right, that's good. There's hard surface techniques that you could use to like flatten this thing out. But again, that's not the purpose of this tutorial. So, all right, so I'm just placing it. All right, pincher looks a little bit too long. And they have it on like a little stick. So let's grab this stick. Let's clone it. Let's bring it up like this. All right, so that's good. Okay, so we have an arm. You know, you could always bend it if you want. It's up to you. So what you do to clone this is, I'm holding down Control right now, and I'm going to select all these objects. And I'm going to go to Edit, and then Group with Model, okay? And it's going to take me to the Explorer. This group, I'm going to call it Arm. All right. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to right-click this. I'm going to say Clone Hierarchy, okay? So this arm one, I'm going to put it over here. Now, it's the wrong way, right? So what we do is we go to Transform, and you go to these scales, and we put in -1, -1, -1. And that creates, actually, let's not do that. Let's look what axis, it's Z. So we're going to go to scale Z, -1. Sorry about that. And that will create a mirror image, except that screws up the normals. So let's not do that. There's probably a way to reverse the normals, but I don't feel like figuring that out right now. So we'll just do this, okay? So there you go. You have a little dude here. Looks cool. Now you might say, well, what happens if I want to sort of, you know, grab the parts of the group? So I can do this, right? Let's grab the torus, this box, this torus, and the cylinder and the sphere. And what I could do here is I could actually group this. Okay, so I created a separate model. And what I could do here is I could take my rotate tool. You could do something here where you can go to pivot and just go to center pivots. All right, that'll be about as good as we could get. So I could create a little bit of a, you know, just a little bit of a difference in the arms. And then the legs are pretty much the same as the body. So let's go ahead and do that. This video is getting a little bit long. Let's clone it. I'm going to bring this down here. And so if you're looking, what we're making, right, is this. And we pretty much have it. I didn't make this, by the way. This is from Digital Tutors. But yeah, that's it. And then the bottom, I'll just go through how to do that piece with you because that piece is a little tricky. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's just create a box here. I'm just going to take this box and clone it. And just bring it down. I'm just going to change the size a little bit just so it's not like the exact same thing because that looks boring. And then I'm actually going to take this box and clone it again. And I'm going to make that shoe thing. So what we're going to do here is the following. We're just going to go to our faces. I'm just holding Control to select more than one face. And I'm going to extrude this. Okay? Just click Extrude. All right. Let's bring it out just a little bit here. Then what I'll do is I'll go to the verts, and I'll grab the top verts, bring them down a little, right? And then I'll grab these faces again, and I'll extrude again, bring it out, and I'll go to verts, and I'll grab the top verts, and I'll bring it down again, and I have a foot. Voila! This is kind of a ginormous foot, so you might want to grab this and sort of bring it in. All right, that's good. That's good. And what we could do is we could put these right on the side of the robot here, like there. All right, and looks pretty cool. It looks more like a shoe than. Let's grab some wheels real quick. Let's grab this. Let's see. We'll just make another one. Actually, let's go to the Explorer and figure out which piece this is. Is it this cylinder? It is. So I'm just going to right-click the cylinder and go to Clone. Click OK. And I want to pull this out of the group. So I'm just going to drag it down like here. Let's see. How do I get this out of a group? I don't even know. All right, since I don't know, we'll make a new one. All right. And let's just go to transform, put 90 here, all right. Do this, whoops. All right, right up there, 90. And what we'll do is we're going to go to Edit, show you Model, Bake Transformation, Bake Transform, click Center Pivot, just so we could, scale it around good now. Otherwise, all the handles are like broken because when they made the software, they didn't take that into account for some reason. All right, let's move this over. What did I do to his head? All right, I think I accidentally rotated his head. I don't know. I'm not sure what I did here. All right, not sure why that got messed up, but let's fix it real quick. I was just going to put the wheels in, but you could do that on your own. All right, good, it's fixed. All right, so let's just go here, right-click, clone. All right, that's fine. And again, all I wanted to really do was, let's try this one more time. Just take a cylinder. Let's move it over here so it's not going to screw anything up. That's good. Let's transform it like this. All right. And we'll do this. Let's make it a little bit smaller. And we'll right click and clone it. Click OK. All right, neat. This one's a little bit big though, so let's scale that. Scale that. Actually, there's something cool we can do here. Go to these, grab these verts, okay? Scale them flat. Let's see if we can move them down. That works. I just grab this one and move it up. Okay, cool. That looks good. All right. Now go back to object mode. Grab these two, move them over. Looks like he has roller skates now. I go to right click clone, click OK. Right click clone, click OK. Right click clone, click OK. And you have a little robot. Okay, kind of cool. There's a lot you could do with this. You could color it. No, I'm not going to color it right now in this video. But you can. It's pretty easy. And if you want to turn off the edges, just go to perspective or realistic, show edges. And there you go. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thanks for watching.